Right then, welcome back to Down the Edge Angling. You join us here today for something a little bit different. I'm actually fishing a match, my first match. I've never fished one before, so I'm very, very excited, but I'm also nervous. We've come to the Bonehill Mill Fishery on a Thursday open, and I'm hoping to obviously get a good weight of fish, because at the end of the day, the whole purpose of the channel is to show my angling journey, and this is a big step. So if there's anyone fishing their first match or getting into match fishing in general, hopefully this is going to help you a little bit. We've drawn peg 30 today, which is a peg which, it's not a flyer peg, but there's been match wins on it before, and it's a decent peg, so I'm hoping it's going to work. I'm obviously keen to get out, and I was here a couple of weeks ago with Ricky Richards, who showed us a couple of tips, so I'm hopefully going to try and put a couple of them to good use. So I'll run you through the rigs and the baits for today. So our pole line for the deck, so we're fishing about 9.5 metres out. We've just got some of this yellow bungee elastic, which is a 12 elastic to run through there. We've got 020 main line of Drennan Suplex. We've got a 0.3 float, 0.3 gram float, which is perfect when I'm going to be fishing on the bottom. Shotting pattern, we've just got a spread bulk of 10 number 10s that I've just spreaded all the way down the line to make sure that ring is going through the bottom nicely. And then we've just got a size 14 KKMB for Preston to a pellet band, and that's our long pole line today. Moving up to the margin rig, we've got some of this red bungee elastic. We've got 023 straight through we're fishing today, with a 0.5 Drennan margin crystal float, which is great because I feel like it's invisible towards the fish. Shot and pan, I've just got a bulk of 5 number 8s that I've put quite a way down the line, but not too close to the hook because I don't want the carp to obviously feel it on the back. And then we've just got a size 12 KKMB from Preston to a pellet band. So that's the margin rig. The main approach for today is fishing a method feeder. Now I've just got a method feeder set up here, clipped up. We've got 2 lines, one at about 20 metres and one at about 30. So I'm using an Acolyte 9-foot plus feeder. A smaller rod, it's going to feel like fish are coming in a lot closer, easier for netting. I've got a 4,000 size reel, which is great, 8 pound Drennan feeder mono to one of these Preston ICS systems. Really good because I can change over to a bomb or change over to a bigger feeder, so it just slides up and down. Then we've just got a 4-inch hook length here of a 020 main line to a size 14 MCM hook from Preston. So this is going to be the main plan of attack for today. I'm planning mainly to use the rod on the feeder, come down the deck later on in the day, and potentially the margins obviously, but it's going to be difficult. You know, we've had a really cold night as well, so I think that's something to affect it. Baits then for the feeder, we've just got micro pellets, some fishery owned micro pellets that I've just prepared up. They'll work perfectly, hold together on the long line and the short line. With that, I'm going to start by feeding some 6mm pellets in the band, but I've also got here a tub of 8mm, which will work again if I'm catching bigger fish. I might try it down the edge, who knows really, it all depends on what the fish want. Then we've got, for the margins later on, we've got maggots, dead red maggots that I've just left in some water to make sure they're dead. These will work great down the edge, 10 or so on the hook, big bunches of them. It's really works well here at this venue, and I've caught big weights of fish on it. And then ground bait, I've just got some of this Dynamite Baits margin mix, which is a nice red ground bait, and I've put a bit of the Sonu bait Thatcher's Original for extra fish meal content, so it's a really nice ground bait, really pungent, smells nice, and that'll work well with the maggots. So yeah, those are the baits for today. I've tried to keep it simple, mainly pellet based. I've also got with me here some Jura hookers and a couple of bandems. This is just for variety. If the skimmers start coming in, you can use the Jura hookers, or if they want some colour, and there you go. So yeah, so that's everything we're doing today. So fishing the long pole line at 9.5 metres on the deck, and then down the edge we've got 2 edge lines, one which is just top kitting 3 sections, and then obviously this really short one here, which is just top kit on its own. So yeah, so that's it. We've got about 5 minutes to the all-in now, so I'll catch up with you then when we get into some fish. Right then, well, we've just hooked into our second carp of the match. We've been fishing for about 15 minutes in total, and this is already my second fish on the short line. Just taking your time with it, because every fish counts. So far, both these fish have been caught on the feed of micro pellets with a 6mm. Second carp, so just taking our time. Every fish counts in a match. Trying to get in me under my keep nets a little bit. There we go, and he's in. With the net. So after about 17 minutes, that puts us on £7, and I want to be getting probably about 20 to 30 pound an hour. So let's hope this continues this way. Right then, so we're into the third carp. We were about 45 minutes in so far, and we've had a skimmer and 2 carp, so this fish should hopefully put us at about the £11 mark by the size of it in the first 45 minutes, which isn't where I want it to be. I want it to be about £20 in the first hour, but so far, and it goes, there we go. We're going to hopefully get another fish, I'm hoping, before the next hour, but yeah, it's another couple of pounds. I'd say it's about £2 that fish. Yeah, so that's the second, that's about £11–12 there, so put that on the clicker. So we've had 4 fish off that short line. It went a bit quiet after the second carp. So you know, no one seems to be catching too much. There's the occasional fish going here and there. So all in all, it does look like a slow match. just put some micro pellets out on that short line again, but if we're chucking every 5 minutes, so if we're having about 2 casts in a row when we've had no fish, I'm looking to go on that longer line, because at this fishery, if you chuck it in the same spot over and over again, eventually the fish will back off, so having a second line to sort of calm that first line down is a good tip. And hopefully, as an added in the match, just sink this line, tighten it, and all I've been doing is I've just been chucking some 6mm pellets with the catapult, 3 or 4 at a time, just over the spot where I've casted in, and I'll do this about twice. There's about, on average, about 10 pellets going down there every chuck. And give it a little bit more. Just keep the feed going in. It's been really cold recently, so the fish are all on the bottom. I've seen someone over there trying to fish a shallow approach, but it looks like he's come off it. But yeah, so continue the rod. I mean, we're going 10 minutes now until the end of the first hour, so we're hoping to get another fish on this line, and if it doesn't pick up as much as we want it to, we'll try the longer line, and obviously if that doesn't pan out, we do have a long line on the pole, which I'm definitely giving a try, but I'm hoping they do come off the bottom a bit, because I do enjoy a bit of shallow fishing, and that is an area which I'm most comfortable in fishing. Yeah, it's all about adjusting to the conditions of the match. But yeah, so I'll get back to you when we hit the second hour to give you an update. Right, so we're about 2.5 hours into the match now, and the weight that I've caught so far is probably what I wanted to catch at the start in the first hour. It's been really slow lately. After having that last carp, the pole line went a bit silent, and then I had nothing on the short line, so I've just casted the rod out to a long line just to see if there's anything there. But so far, I mean, we've not had any indications of fish, so I'm a little bit tempted to maybe stick a bomb on and go on the short line. That way I'm not, getting too much bait in the swim. But yeah, it's been quiet. Looking around the lake, a couple of anglers have caught. Some chap 2 pegs down I think he's fishing shallow. Yeah, we'll get an indication bite then. But yeah, but besides that, I mean, we're not getting much action here at the minute. I'm hoping it picks up. I'm relying on the margin fish to bring it home for us today. I think we had a good start, but it slowed down at the minute. But that margin to the right of me looks, hopefully it's going to produce some fish. But yeah, just a bit quiet, to be honest. I've kept the feed going in, casting it every 5 minutes or something. There we are, and we've got a fish on. Finally got a fish on. I think it's only a skimmer though. Yeah, definitely need to take our time with this one. Yeah, it doesn't feel a big fish at all. I think it is just a skimmer. But at the end of the day, skimmers, they're going to count to the weight, especially because we're not having anything, so it's better than nothing. There we are. He's a decent sized fish at the end of the day. Like, we're trying to catch, big weights of fish, and quite frankly, when the carp aren't feeding, that for a size skimmer, I'll take, doesn't take many of them to build up a big weight. Right, well, we've just hooked into a fish on the line, and prior to this I had another rig out, and we hooked into a fish, and within 2-3 seconds it snapped us. So I'm not sure whether it snapped us because it hit the clip, but I had no line coming off, and we've got 8-pound line on, so it must have been a big fish, but I'm not sure what's gone on. But we're into it to quite a large bream, but you know, it's quite difficult, you know, losing such a big fish. But you know, we've gone back out on that line and we've just had this bream on the first trip back, so I'm hoping it all turns around from this point, because it started to pick up a little bit now. It went really quiet, but now we're pushing probably 30 pounds of fish, which yet again is still nowhere where I want to be, but it's a massive increase from what I was catching, you know, 30 minutes ago to an hour ago. So yeah, I'd much rather catch, you know, if I'm not going to catch, I'd rather have bream at the end of the day, because they are, you know, £1, £2 a piece, and it only probably takes 2 or 3 of them to have the same weight as a decent sized carp. So very quickly, as the feeder line wasn't working too well, and already within 30 seconds I've got another £2 fish, so it's definitely a weight to add. Lively one. There we go, let's get in the net. And that was just fishing on a 6mm pellet, and then a couple of micro pellets, and already we've had that first fish. So all I've done is I've just left that short feeder line to leave, just left it a little bit to calm down, because we've had 4 or 5 fish off that longer line, on that short line, sorry. We'll probably try and move on to the longer line later on in the day, but just for now I wanted just to give that pole line a go. But yeah, we'll go back on the pole line and give it a try, but I don't want to spend too much time on it, as for me the main approach with today was going to be with the method feeder. But yeah, just caught that using some of the Drennan yellow carp bungee elastic, which is a 12 graded, which is perfect for these sorts of fish on the deck who are 3-4 pound. Get back out. All we'll do is we'll just ship out to the spot. I'm fishing a really short line between pole tip and float, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm able to hit those bites at 100 mile an hour. My only concern is obviously if the wind does pick up, then that's obviously going to be really hard for me to fish, because my pole's going to be blowing around, but hopefully that's not a problem. So just lay it in, just going to tip the bait in. Then we'll just lift up, slowly lay it down over the spot. Nice and slowly. And there we go. into another fish on this line. Feels like a carp. It's been a bit slow, to be honest. Not really sure why. I've seen a couple of other anglers catch on the far side of the bank, but yeah, I just tried this line because the short line wasn't working and I wanted to give it a bit of rest. But feels like I've hooked into a nice sized carp. Got soft 12 elastic on, so definitely got the stretch, can handle fish. It's important just to take the time, because you know we've not had many fish so far, and this could be a crucial fish to bring us back in it a little bit. We'll ship out. Not sure if we're going to get any fish. This is just to see. I'm not going to be down there very long at all. Probably a minute at the most, just to see if we've got any fish topping, or you know, want to have a little try of what we've got to offer. So. Pull the hook bait in, pull it in nicely. Yeah, and we'll just see if we're going to get a fish there. Right, well, we've just hooked into another margin fish. This one is doing something, feels bigger. It's given the red bungee elastic a good pull. You know, it's these margin fish that I'm really hoping to bring us back into this match. It's definitely given us a good fight. That's a nice size carp. I don't think you understand how incredibly awkward it is to ply this fish with the section at the end. And he's in yet again. That's another chunky fish. Which is definitely going to add to our weight. Probably about 4 or 5 pound. I do want them to be bigger fish, but unfortunately, you know, we are just going to have to take what we get. Yeah, we went through a phase where we just kept catching skimmers, and obviously it's really difficult to play this pole when you've got a third section in your top kit, which limits you to using the puller kit. But unfortunately, we're having to adapt to it, and yeah, we need some fish to get us up there. I'm hoping this is a good fish. I mean, it doesn't particularly look like it, but it's definitely fighting like one. But yeah, I'm hoping that margin line does pick up with some slightly larger stamp fish. Just trying to come down here. Does look like a nice sized common actually. Just trying to be a bit cautious having a third section attached on. There we go. He's a decent sized fish. He's probably 6 pound, I would have thought, which is the biggest fish I've had today, I think. We've not done too well for you know, big stamp fish. Into sort of big fish, I think. You know, we're fishing down the edge line and it's pulled us all the way out here, right? I'm hoping this is the fish that's gonna change it for us. I'm just playing it nice and gentle, just because I want it to come in. Obviously, I don't know if it's foul hooked or a big fish, I can't tell, so I just want to take my time with it in case it is. we've not had much luck today on the match, but I'm hoping it's starting to turn now. The deadline has produced 3 or 4 carp, which have definitely brought our numbers back up a bit. So there we go. Bring it down to the top 3 colour kit, as I like to call it now. Got him in. And that is a nice sized fish as well. Just get him on there. Yeah, that's a nice sized carp, probably maybe £7, £8. That is called the all out. Well, there you go, that's the all out being called. We didn't have time to get another fish. We tried to get the couple of fish at the end, but yeah, that's match fishing, unfortunately. I mean, we've not had the best of days. You know, it's my first match after all, and it's not exactly gone to plan, but they're going to come round with the scales in a minute, so I'll catch up with you then, and we'll talk about how the day's gone. Right then, well, that's the end of the match. The all out has been called a couple of minutes back now. I'm going to start packing up my bits and bobs, but yeah, they're coming around with the scales to weigh the fish in. For my first match, I feel like I've learned a lot today. That's the whole purpose of it. We've had a lot of difficulties today. I got snapped on the rod, not sure what went wrong there. Got also snapped in. I've had an absolute clatter of a session with this pole. I don't know what's going on with it, but I just cannot get the third section out of the pole. I don't know if there's some water or ground bait stuck in there, and that's just been really difficult because I've had to use a backup pole, and I've not been able to cup in bait because obviously I can't change the kits. That's also something, and I've tried to overcome that by using cad pots as well to bait in, you know, little cad pots, which ain't been ideal having to ship out 7 or 8 times, but there we go. So yeah, we started off on the feeder line. We had probably about, I'd say about 6 or 7 carp in total, average about 3-4 pound, and then we lost that big one, which still annoys me. A couple of bream as well. Went on the long pole line, had two carp as well. I mean, you can see the fish swirling around here now that the match is over and the nets are coming out. But yeah, I had, I think, 2 carp on that line, and then we've had about 3 or 4 bream off it, and then we've just also between that and then come down the gauge, rest in one line while I fish the other edge line. We've had, I think, 2 carp from the shorter one, which were the bigger stamp fish, and then we've had maybe 4 or 5 carp coming from that one there. So we've definitely caught some weight to fish. We'll wait for the scales to come round. I don't think I've won it, if I'm honest. I think someone on the back post have won it. I think we've caught round about £50 of fish today, which I don't think was definitely not enough to win it, but I've learned a lot today, and that's the idea. So come round with the scales, and I'll give you a little catch up when we've weighed the fish in. Right then, well, it's come to the end of the match now. We've just weighed in, and what I thought has happened. We've got a total weight of £56 and 7 ounces, which is nowhere near what has been caught to win it. I think someone's had 130 up the other end of the lake, and this chap here has caught 120. So yeah, nowhere near that. A lot of the lads up or down here have had between 50 and 70 pounds, so there's not been a massive distance between the weight of fish. All the fish have started to come in now that I've pulled the nets are out, so it's ridiculous. But yeah, it's been a tough match. Definitely learned a lot. I can take a lot away from this, and I'll take £56 as a weight for my first match. But yeah, it's been a really really good experience, and definitely going to give it another go. So I hope you like watching today, and I hope you've learned something. Follow us on Facebook at Down the Edge Angling. I'll leave a link in the description. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.